Well, it's me again, and this is my podcast and my world, where I take you along on an adventure where we get to explore everything and anything that goes on in my mind. Oh boy, is it random, is it crazy, it's nuts, it's all over the place. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's have a good time. Well, good morning, my friends. Good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining and there is not a cloud in the sky. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. I got my hot cup of coffee in my hand. However, I got a feeling that it won't be hot by the time I get to work, but that's all right. So today is going to be interesting. It is Thursday, and well, it's a normal Thursday. So I want to share with you a little bit of something that I just kind of discovered this morning. Let me put my coffee in the truck here. So there is a gentleman that I came in contact with, and now, as you all know, I don't have social media or anything like that, but I came in contact with him through Facebook, on a Facebook thing, and which is a whole story within itself. But I started talking to him, and he was making the comment about how he just bought this gorgeous property, and how, I mean, it's gorgeous. The guy who owned it before him was like 90 plus years old, and yeah, he's an older gentleman, and for like 30 years he was retired, and didn't have to do anything for 30 years other than work on his garden. And this guy had built one of the most amazing looking gardens I've ever seen. Gorgeous rock retaining walls and fountains, and I mean, you name it. It is just a beautiful yard. So this guy that I was talking to just bought the property about a month ago, and he has two really young children, 2 and 3, I believe. And he wants to take it out so that he can have green grass for his kids to play on. And I'm just like, wow. Wow. It gives you a lot of perspective about what's really ours. The legacy that you leave behind. This guy, this 90-year-old man, he spent 30 years of his life, if not more, building this oasis, which it so is. I mean, it is like, it is like one of the most beautiful Asian-looking gardens you've ever seen. It is so gorgeous. It's just beautiful. But once we're gone, because we're not going to be here forever. We are only going to be here for a short period of time, and then we're gone. We're no longer walking on this earth. At least not walking physically. Some people believe we'll probably be here spiritually, but not physically. But it just reminds me that life is so temporary and so short, and when we're gone, we're gone, and everything we've done in our lives can be undone very quickly. And it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. So I was talking with him, and he's looking for a couple of guys to help him clear it. And I told him, yeah, I'd help him clear his yard. And if he wants to get rid of a lot of that rock and stuff that's in the front yard, I'll be more than happy to load it up in my truck and take it away for him. Kind of goes against my best judgment. I don't think that would be a good idea, but it's not my property, it's not my yard, it belongs to him now, and that's his right. He has the right to change it. It belongs to him. It no longer belongs to the old person. It's like our bodies, our carcasses, our shells. This isn't really who we are. This is just a vessel, in my opinion, to help us experience the world. This isn't who we really are. I don't think anybody knows what they really look like. I look in the mirror and I see this face, and I'm accustomed to seeing this particular face. I grew up the last 37 years of my personal existence, and I looking at the same face every day in the mirror. And so I've become accustomed to seeing that face, and I identify myself as that face. But that's not really who I am. That's just the shell that I inhabit. Yeah, that's my thought. Anyways, so I told him, I would love to have some of those rocks, and so if there's any really nice bushes or anything there that I could utilize, I'd like to save as much of it as possible, at least to try to honor this other person's existence. That this person put their heart and soul into it. for at least 30 years they put their heart and soul into it. So I'd like to be able to do what I can, or do my part to that's a lot of work. It took 30 years to build. It's gonna probably take 25 to 30 years to unbuild. That's how extensive this yard is. It's gorgeous. But it is what it is. We all have free will, and we all have the ability and the right to make our own life choices and decisions. And so that we shall. So I didn't grab my sunglasses. I should have grabbed my sunglasses today. The sun is so bright. I guess that's what happens first thing in the morning and there's no cloud cover, which I am so not used to. And I got my coffee. Today I've got Folgers in my cup, and I've got some heavy whipping cream in my cup, and I've got a teaspoon of heaping teaspoon, let's be honest, of Swerve, which is a non-sugar sweetener. It's actually, I believe it's made from sugar alcohol or something like that. It's okay. It leaves kind of a mentholy taste in your mouth when you're done with it, though. But you know what? It is what it is. So I really am looking forward, and I'm really excited for the next couple of months. Really excited for the next couple of months. Going to be extremely, extremely busy doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to this year and this summer and spending time with my family and hopefully taking some time off work for a while, or at least cutting my hours back. Yesterday I pulled a 13-hour shift at work, and everyone's like, "Oh, good! Overtime. That's awesome." Yeah. Okay. Money. Yeah, money's good. That's awesome. But I'd rather spend time with my family. My children are only going to be this young for so long. And then they're going to go and have their own families and have their own lives someday. And the time that I'm in right now will pass. It's not so much about money or whatever. It's about memories and freedom and loving each other and being around each other and having the communication with the people that you care about. And that's what's important in the world. Not what you leave, or not what you take from the world, but what you give to the world. That's important. That's what has value. Leaving this world by giving people memories. You want people to remember the good times and remember the fun you had, and that's what's gonna matter. That's what's gonna, it's like buying this house. I'm gonna spend the next gosh knows how many years trying to work hard to pay it off. But once it's paid off, and I'm gone, does anyone really care? Somebody will come in and buy my house that I spent my whole life working on to pay off, just to turn around and do the same thing. Work on it and pay it off, because they'll have to buy it from whoever sells it to them. What's the point? It's just stuff. It's just things. They're not important. Things themselves have absolutely no value whatsoever. People. Now that has value. That has worth. And I want to spend at least this next year, but the rest of my life, building value in people. With my children, having a house isn't so much about having the house as much as having my children build life experiences and memories. I want them to appreciate what it's like to have their own bedroom, what it's like to know the feeling of self-worth, and hard work pays off in the end. And I want them to be good people and good stewards for the future. Someday there will be grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren and great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Someday no one will even know I existed, or that my children even existed, or my great-great-great-grandchildren even existed. Someday, very far in the future, or maybe not so far, I don't know, my presence here on this planet will no longer be known that I ever was here. And I get that, and I'm okay with that. But I want to do my best to form and mold my children to be good people, so that when they are adults, they can help mold the next generation, and their generation can help the next, and so on and so forth. That's how legacy works, through the ones you leave behind, and the memories and the impact you leave on them. So that's my legacy, my children, and their memories. You know, they may never tell the stories of my grandparents to their children. They may not even tell the story of me. But somewhere in their heart, I will have hopefully created a beautiful person with a good heart. Someone who is willing to do whatever it takes for their family or their fellow man. So I go back to this garden. This old man who built this beautiful garden, I only hope that he spent just as much time building beautiful memories with his family and with the friends and people that he cared about, as much time as he did on that garden. Because that garden is going to change, and it will no longer be there. Memories are what we have, y'all. So, just a piece of my mind, and thought I'd throw that out there. You know, I want to build a beautiful garden, but honestly, it's not that important. It's the time you spend with your loved ones that matters. And especially if you have kids, spend the time with them as early as you possibly can in their life, because it's the early years that are the most important. Once they're already in their 30s and 40s, they've already made up their mind on who they're going to be and how they think about people, and their foundation relationships are already constructed. It's hard to change an adult's mind. It's hard to open their mind to new ideas and new concepts. But a child can be enlightened and molded. All things are possible. Go out there today. Let at least somebody else know that you love them and you care about them. Change one life, one person at a time. I love you all so very, very, very much, and I really hope you have a fantastic day. Until next time, bye for now.
This has been a Graham's World broadcast, brought to you directly from Graham's mind. So stay tuned, because there's more to come.